Good evening and welcome to Sunday Night Live, 12th of December, 12 days. Is it 13 days, 12 days to Christmas or 12 sleeps? I think till Christmas. You can tell I'm still young and, well, I think I'm still young anyway. Stop laughing, Jane. Good evening and welcome. You will see we have, well, quite a few people here. We have Jane Lonsdale. Jane, good evening.
Evening.
We have Anne-Marie Godfrey in a very Christmassy, festive jumper.
Yeah, evening all. Merry Christmas. Is it too early to say that?
Well, I've just said it's 12 sleeps, so I suppose if I'm going to say that. Rob, you got no Christmas jumper on. I don't. You don't do Christmas jumpers, mate, do you?
You know what? I might have to get one on Saturday from the club shop because it's the last home game before Christmas. Might have to get in that spirit, So I might get one on Saturday. You might see me wearing one.
Do you know what? I really love the Plough Lane ones at the ground. They're really nice. I must admit, really nice. So I've been trying to sweet talk my wife to let me purchase one. And of course we've got Jack Rudoni. Jack, good evening.
Evening, everyone.
So Jack is joining us. We are waiting for Nesta Guinness-Walker to join us. He's having a little bit problem with his phone, and as Rob was saying, Rob was saying off screen, "I'll just stitch you up now, Rob." That I thought all the youngsters were good with technology, but it looks like Nesta's got a new phone, and just having some difficulty joining in. Nothing to be fair, anything like Will Nightingale, who was on a little while ago and had no joy, and Anthony Hargan was giving him a lot of grief. About it. What we're going to do, we're going to crack on. Nesta will hopefully, if he can, join us a little later. So if you want to send any questions in, so we've had some pre-questions as well that have come in. So we will be asking those. But Jane and Anne-Marie, I will leave you with Jack. Jack, by the way, hasn't been chucked out or anything like that. He's just basically sitting in his car, Jack, isn't it?
Just on the car. Mum's got a few friends around, so I thought it would be quiet to steer in.
Superb. Okay. I'll leave it over to you later.
I mean, Rudy could well be at the training ground, ready to go for the morning. That's for all we know. He's there
I think that's the better answer there.
How are you feeling after one of the craziest weeks of the season so far? I think.
Yeah, I think it's a bit strange because we felt like we should have won yesterday. But if you look back, at the start of the week, if you were going to take, I think, was it 4 points from 2 tough games, like you take that, and but with the standards like we're setting ourselves, we expect ourselves to hold on yesterday and get the 3 points. So it's a bit of a weird feeling, but overall it's been a productive, good week, and we're just going to prepare for Saturday now, so and hopefully get the 3 points there.
Superb. And I saw on the official Twitter page earlier on, they're talking about Rudy TV or having your own TV show. I think that was that they were mentioning it. 7 goals now this season. Did you? I know some players don't like to answer, but did you set a target at the start of the season?
Not really. I expect myself to get double figures this year. That's like, but then I don't really put a limit on what I can do. Like I reckon I could get 20 if I really put my head down, work hard, and I don't really think there's a limit to what I can do. I don't really put proper targets. I have mini ones throughout the season. Like right now on 7, I want 10 before Christmas. Yeah. But I don't really put a set target or limit. I just try to work hard and keep focus every game and not get too embroiled in thinking about just scoring. Just if I play how I play, then eventually chances will come. So yeah, that's it.
Fantastic. Well, we're all behind you on getting those 10 before Christmas. That'd be amazing. Jane, over to you.
Thanks, Anne-Marie. Nice to see you, Rudy. So
I see you too.
Yesterday's game, Wickham, they're one of the more experienced sides in the league, right? Come down from the Championship last year. We've played them a few times in the past. How did you find it playing against them yesterday? Different to previous times, or did they have that bit of Championship quality, do you think, or how was it for you?
That's actually the first time I've played Wickham, so it was It was my first time knowing what they're about, but it's a strange one because they have a very set style of how they play. Like there wasn't many passes out from the back, maybe one, and then they get it forward. So it was very different to what I've had before. Even when you look at teams like even Gillingham or so, like who are known to go longer. This like playing Wickham was very direct. Like they didn't really want to play at all unless it's around your box. They'll try and work a little bit to get a cross in, but I felt all right with it. I felt we dealt with it very well. There was 2 sloppy goals, but we'll learn from that. But overall, I thought we dealt with it well, and we could have got even more goals. So I don't think we quality or that, because I think we played very well overall. So it was an interesting game and good experience, because it's something I've not actually come up against before, but I felt we done well.
It's great. I didn't make it to the game yesterday, but watched the highlights. And that the first goal, I'm not quite sure what their defender was doing. He just it looked like he just almost kind of stood still, and you just appeared around the back of him and just nicked the ball. Great move. How did it feel for you? Was there a lot of movement in that box? Because from the highlights, it didn't look like it.
No, well, I seen Ollie get it, and I think just like when you play with players regularly, you kind of know what they're going to do. So I kind of expected Ollie to just drill it across the floor. He done one to Ayub the other week, so I expected him to drill it across the face of the box, and I just gambled in front of their defender. I don't think their defender expected me to be there, because, like you said, he kind of just stood still. But yeah, I just gambled, nipped in front of him, and probably the easiest goal of my career.
Great goal, great celebrations.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned a little just in the opening question to Anne-Marie about how it felt after the game, as if it was almost like 2 points dropped rather than 1 gained, even though it's 4 over the last couple of games. That's 5 games unbeaten, and we've scored 13 goals in the process. What's the mood like in the camp now?
Very positive overall. Yesterday we know we should have got the 3 points, but like we were messaging in the group chat after the game, everyone just saying like good week overall. Like we were disappointed at the time when it happened, but like we reflected, and overall it's a good week, and all we can do is push on and improve. Like I didn't know that we were 5 games unbeaten. That's good going right now, and hopefully we can keep the unbeaten run going, and then we can really get on a strong run. It feels like stuff is clicking for us, and we're starting to really come together as a group. It is a brilliant group of lads. Like we're all so close and together. Yeah, we enjoy training. We enjoy coming in and seeing each other every day, and we're honest with each other. So it's really a good place at the moment.
And one final one from me, if I can. So we talked about the 13 goals. You've just talked about getting another 3 before Christmas to get you up to your 10. So we've had 3 from you in the last couple of games. What's different? What's clicking? What's making that happen?
I think it's more from when Robbo came in as manager last season. He really helped me on my because I think I scored 1 goal in my AFC Wimbledon career. It's like since he come in. So no, before he came in, I meant. So when he came in, he spoke to me about getting in the box and getting in the right areas, and I've really been working on that hard since he's been the manager, and it's paid off. It paid off a little bit last year, and I got 4 goals near the end of the season, and then I just thought this season take it, like keep getting in the right areas and taking my stride, and I've pushed on, I guess. I just think to myself, if I can get in the areas, like, and you get the chances, you're eventually going to score. So every game I just get in the right areas, and I usually get a chance, and when I start taking all the chances, then I don't put a limit on how many goals I can score.
Fantastic, thank you.
was just thinking, well, there was a couple of our players, particularly Darius Charles. Was he somebody before the match that was able to, give a bit of insight on what to expect from Wickham, and get us, particularly with the defenders? It was obviously something we were going to speak to Nesta about, but was he able to kind of give an insight on how to best prepare for the game?
A little bit, but we don't. With some teams like Wickham, we prepare and we focus a bit more on them than we would on another team because they're so one way, like they go long, and we had to prepare. So we done a little bit, as in out on the training pitch, we done a bit of working on how we're gonna pick up the second balls and stuff, and get around the ball to win it back when it goes up to the front men. But we didn't really. Like, Dee didn't really give us too much. He gave us the little pointers when we'd ask about a player or so, but nothing major. We just focused on what we were going to do as a team and how we were going to play. And we know that if we play how we know we can play, and if we do our best, we're capable of beating anyone. So, we didn't really focus on worry, or we didn't really worry about asking Darius oh, what's that like, what are they going to do? We just really focused on ourselves.
Jack, we've got some questions from YouTube and on Twitter, so I'm going to read them out to you. The first one's from Andy Dixon. His daughter's a massive fan of yours, Lucy. He wants to know, he says, can you ask Rudy what's the main difference he feels to the front four when Ollie plays? We're such a threat when he's there, but when he was out injured, we seem to lose our edge a bit. Would that be down to experience, perhaps, or?
Yeah, probably a bit of experience. Ollie obviously gives us a proper target to hit and holds it up very well, and then me, Maka, and Ayub and front players can run off him, and I think he just that's what he's good at. He's been doing it for years, so when it goes into him, we know it's going to stick, so we can make our runs and can support, or Woody can support, and then a set to them, and then play into us front players. So I think it's more that he's just been doing it for so long. We know when it goes into Ollie, it's gonna stick, or when the ball goes up, he's most likely gonna win the header, or no one's gonna win the header because he's causing them such a problem, and it could bounce anywhere for us to pick up. So I think he helps us get up the pitch and get into the right areas.
Perfect. And following on from that, Jack, we've got another question for you. It says, can you ask Rudy what his preferred position is, please? He looks comfortable left, right, or down the middle. And can you also ask what he's done to turn himself into a major threat in the air? Absolute Palmer-esque thumping header yesterday.
First one, I don't really have a preferred. I like just roaming across all three. Some games you'll see me, I'll move into all three positions. On the right side, obviously coming in on my left foot, can maybe get some shots away, or it's a bit of a different perspective. But then when I'm on the left, I feel that I can come in and play, I don't know, link up with Ollie. I don't know, it's hard. I just like playing all of them. I don't mind where I play. Wherever I play, I'm gonna do the job that's required, and always create chances and be a goal threat. So it doesn't matter where I play across those three. Either way, I'm gonna do the job. And the second question is, I think it's always really been in me, but I think Robbo kind of just brought it out in me and told me stop messing about and go and attack the ball. And when I started doing it in training a bit, and everyone was like, wow, you can head the ball and stuff. And then I was scoring some good headers in training, and then end of last season I scored 2 headers or so, and then since then, I'm not gonna not do something that works. So when I see the ball get wide, I try to time my runs, and I know that now I'm good in the air, so I can beat players and score goals. So but yesterday's header was my favourite out of all of them.
Definitely, it was a superb header, Jack. And we do have a question from YouTube from a user called Dubtronic. He says, is there a player that you like watching for tips to help your game? I don't know if that means from Wimbledon or in the top leagues or something.
I don't really have one player who I look at to base my game on. I want to be my own person, have my own career that people look at and say that's Jack Rudoni. So that's mainly it. But if I was to look at people, I just enjoy watching front players. Like Messi's always been the one player that since I've been growing up, he's just the one that I've always looked at, just loved watching, because I just think he can do anything with the ball. But yeah, just like I look at all players in my position and just see what I can take from everyone's game to put into mine, so I can eventually be better than them. So I just want to use whatever I can to be as good as I can.
That's perfect. I'll pass back on to Anne-Marie and Jane.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I'm skipping slightly ahead. I know we will come back to the next couple of matches, but obviously earlier this week we had the FA Cup draw. I know lots of our fans will be excited to return back to Boreham Wood, where we've got one of our former players as manager there, and we played against them for a good couple of seasons, I think. Did you watch the draw? How are you feeling about it, and how the squad gonna approach that one?
When the draw was happening, so we were watching it on the coach. When the draw came in our face, we're confident we can win. Like, I'm sure a few people would have wanted some of the big teams, but we're happy with this. It's a tie. We expect ourselves to get through to the next round, and now we have to go and do that. And I think we're confident that we can do that, and then we can get further in the competition, and who knows how far we can go. Hopefully we can go very far.
I'll just pick up on that. So, obviously at Accrington on a wet Tuesday night, tough old fixture that. Did Robert allow the team to relax on the Monday night? What were you doing the night before? When did you travel up and that kind of thing?
Yeah, so we travelled up on the Monday after training. It was a very long journey, if I say so. It was about 6 hours on the coach. So when we got there, everyone was tired. We had dinner and we basically went to sleep. And then we got up on the Tuesday morning and we done set pieces at some local AstroTurf pitch. And then we just came back and really relaxed for 3 or 4 hours, and you could just chill. You could go in. There was a spa and swimming pool at the hotel, so you could just go and chill there. Physios were just giving out a few massages to flush out the long journey, and we just really relaxed. And then we had food together, done our meeting before the game, and then went out there to play. And it was a brilliant performance, one of the best of the season.
Great. It's a great game to watch. And then we've got, thinking about yesterday's game, Egley's come back into the squad, which is great to see him back in the squad. What a great move down that right wing, and that cross flick, whatever you want to call it, over the top for that impressive header. How pleased were you for him? Have you played with him previously? Was it before your time?
No, I knew Egley well. So I probably played with him a little bit. I can't completely remember, but I'm sure I would have played with him. I've definitely trained with him. But I don't know if he was in his loan spells or whatever when I was playing with the 23s. I can't completely remember, but yeah, it's good to have him back. He's a good addition to the squad on and off the pitch, and I'll just turn this light back on. And so yesterday, like I say, he's good addition to the squad. He's come on and he's shown that pace and power he's got to get down the line, and he's not giving up the ball, and he's put it into a great area. And it's just asking for me to attack it. So it's good to have him back, and he knows the club well, so he knows what it's about.
Yeah, that work down the right wing was. I mean, as I say, I wasn't there yesterday, but it looked really impressive on the highlights. He, shrugged off a couple of their players, and almost double backed on himself. Great move. What was it? 189 there yesterday? No, that was Accrington. There was more there yesterday. Relationship with the fans really good at the moment. You look like your second goal, you went straight over to the fans to celebrate.
Yeah, well, I think there was 800 or 900 or so there yesterday. So and it didn't feel like that. It felt like so much more. And it just makes you realise, like, when we didn't have them there last season, it's just unbelievable to have them back, and all the support is unbelievable. And when we score and stuff, we just want to repay the fans for travelling. The 187 that came to Accrington were unbelievable as well. Didn't stop singing throughout the whole 90 minutes, and on a cold, freezing Tuesday night in Accrington, it was just unbelievable. And I think that's something this club has that no other does. The fans are so connected with the players, and it's just brilliant. And we feel that, and that's why when we go out there, we give it our all every Tuesday and Saturday, and we want to repay all the fans with 3 points.
Thanks, Rudy. Pass to Anne-Marie.
Hello, sorry, muted myself. You joining the petrol station sing song I saw on the way back from Accrington?
Yeah, I think there was a few of us that were getting our food. So there was a few of us getting some food from the shops, but we heard all about it, and we heard that it was brilliant. And because we arrived and we just seen the fans bus arrive as well, and they all jumped off singing, and it was just, it was a brilliant moment.
Fantastic. And as we head into obviously a busy time over Christmas with matches, have you kind of been given a training schedule? Will you be in on Christmas Day? How's it looking as you prepare for, like I said, a busy time in football?
We don't actually know yet. They haven't given us our Christmas schedule. I don't know if we're in on Christmas Day, but either way, we just got to prepare for the game on Boxing Day, because it's our job, and we just need to get the 3 points, and that's the main thing over this Christmas period, is getting as many points as possible, and recovery and all that stuff will be very important, because there's so many games over a short period of time. So I'm gonna have to rest up well, eat right, and yeah, it'll be all good.
I know that some leagues have a winter break. Obviously because of there's a lot of fixture congestion, and it's kind of widely spoken about certainly in the Premier League. What would your thoughts be on that? Would you rather kind of keep the momentum going of the fact that we're 5 games unbeaten, and we use that going into 2 home games now? Have a thought on that?
I understand why it's brought in. I think it's sensible for some aspects, but then obviously there is the aspect that you want to keep going if you're on a run like this. But then also for the like the fitness of the players, like everyone knows, like there is a lot of people breaking down over the Christmas period. So, but then I think on the other hand, if you manage it well and you really are really professional over the period, you'll hopefully get through injury free, and as a team we won't have any injuries, and we'll still go strong. And so with us, I'm not really fussed about not having winter break, or if I did have one, it's just how it goes. And we'll just prepare for every game as well as possible.
Anne-Marie, I was just going to quickly ask a question, because I was just being nosy about that service station on that singer song. Jack, do you have a favourite service station?
Service station?
Yeah, do you know what? I saw it. There's apparently a program on TV I saw, and it was basically about service stations. And me and my wife started then talking about service stations. And
Yeah.
how. So, do you have a favourite service station?
I don't know. I don't go to many service stations, but the one that I've been to a couple of times is the Cobham one. So I probably have to say the
Cobham one's very good.
Yeah.
The Cobham one's very good.
Yeah.
No, it's just when you talk about service station. I know Jane was laughing. Jane, you must have a. See, mine is Leicester Forest because you can eat whilst you're looking over. They basically got a Burger King and
I'm agreed
McDonald's
with you, Stu.
on the flyover, so you can actually watch the cars going past. It's quite sad, but yeah. Jane, have you got a favourite service station? You're shaking your head.
No, Norton Keynes on the when we're doing the big away trips up north. That's where we normally stop if we're going, like, quite a long way up north up the M6. Norton Keynes, we quite dip into a few times.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I'll just random. Sorry.
Shall I pick up on the kind of we met with Joe Palmer and Will Daniels and Robbo. They did a Q&A on the official club site detailing the plan for the team and the new approach, the new long-term approach, and focus on youth and development. That's all great. Football's a results business. Fans like to see the team win. How did you and the rest of the squad find it during the recent blip, tough patch, however you want to refer to it, where we weren't winning games left, right, and centre?
We weren't really worried, to be honest. It was frustrating when it did happen, and we did lose the game after everyone was emotional and we were saying. But then when we look back on the game, there was still positives to take from it. The way we were playing in some of the games, and I think we all just knew that it was gonna start clicking, and because we're such a good group of lads and we believe in each other and we know that we have the quality, we weren't really worried. We were getting frustrated, like I said, with the results not going our way, but we knew that if we tidied up a few little bits, we could really push on and start getting some brilliant results. So I think we weren't too worried, and now it seems like it's clicking, and hopefully we do go on a proper run now.
Sorry, Rob, can I just throw in a really personal question? So I've known Jack for years. His brother and my youngest used to play in the same football team years ago, and it's a little bit weird for me, and I don't know how it feels for you, playing on a Saturday and hearing fans chanting your name. How does that feel as a footballer? I mean,
yeah, it's the best feeling in the world. It feels like they're just behind you, and like the love that you get is just brilliant, and pushes you on to just want to repay them for all the support. So that's why when I scored yesterday, like the emotions and coming over to the fans and celebrating with them, it means a lot, because I know how much support they give me.
Following on from Jane's question, this is my own question. I want to know, what is it like seeing yourself on FIFA? Like, do you pick yourself on FIFA Ultimate Team or something like?
Yeah, I do. I always buy myself an Ultimate Team. I don't actually play FIFA that much because I feel like it just makes the time go so quickly, and everything just gets away from you, and you don't do stuff you actually need to do. But when I do play, I usually leave myself on the bench, and then when I'm 3-4 up, I'll bring myself on.
You need to build a team around you, Jack. That's what you need to do, mate.
Yeah, I do.
We have got some more YouTube questions here, so I'm just going to quickly get through them. Whereabouts am I? Saeed wants to know, he's just come back from today's Women's FA Cup game. Unfortunately, they lost. He wants to know, is there much of a connection between the women's and the men's squads? Do they train at the same training ground, I guess? And do you come across
Unfortunately, no, we don't really see them at all. There's not really much of a point where we meet or talk. So not really. Maybe that's a part where we could try and work on that and get more of a connection. But right now we don't really meet at all, or unless they come to the games. But we don't really see them at the games, so no, not really.
Okay. Interesting.
Rob, can I just jump in there just to say that it's such a shame, because actually both the men's squad and the ladies' women's squad were due to come to the Junior Dons Christmas party. We were going to have both squads at the party, and it's just such a shame that we've had to cancel the event. And if anybody's listening, I can only apologise. But with the COVID restrictions changing, we've had to take the awful decision and let down so many kids, and we realise that's a massive disappointment for them. And we'll look to organise something, bigger and better next year, which is what we said last year as well. But COVID is such a freaking pain because it's just meant that we couldn't put 100 kids in a room with both squads. The risk is just too high. But that would have been an event where we had both of them, and we do things like the Christmas cards and the birthday cards that are signed. They're signed by both squads, so we're trying to do a bit more of that. But it's just unfortunate. The first time we were going to do it just hasn't come off.
That's understandable given the current climate. Another question for you, Jack, is from Richard Chin. He says, I love watching you play, Rudy, this season. In addition to your silky skills, you seem to have more of a physical presence. Is that gym work, or is it just growing and developing with age?
No, I think it's down to gym work. I've been working hard in the gym. Sports science group have been pushing me hard in there, and then also just on my own, I've been doing my own stuff to make sure I can properly develop physically, because that is one part I wanted to improve, and it's good to see that people can see that, and hopefully I can really push on with that even more and get even better with that.
And another question we have from Jaggy Don. He says, how's Robbo's relationship with you and the players, and how do you feel of him as a manager overall?
Yeah, it's brilliant. The connection between manager, staff and players is brilliant. We can have banter with them, but it's also very professional, and we talk about the right things at the right time. So it's got a brilliant mixture, and we're all so together. We're honest with each other, and it's brilliant. And then for the likes of me, Paul, Sue, and all the academy people who have come through the academy, we know Robbo so well, and he knows us so well. So it's a really brilliant place at the moment.
There's another comment about Ultimate Team from Jaggy Dons. He says, you talking about Ultimate Team reminds me of Rudy's pinned tweet with him on the bench in a team full of 90 plus players in FIFA 20. I don't think I've seen this pinned tweet.
Well, it was it was actually Toby Civic sent me it on Twitter. It was AJ Tracy, the UK rapper. He put up his Ultimate Team, and he had a crazy team, and then he had 3 bronze players on the bench, and I was one of the bronze players. So I think I just made a joke or something and said, "Why am I on the bench?" and he retweeted it, and it got a few likes. So yeah.
Well, with the amount of goals you scored this season, hopefully AJ Tracy's not putting you on the bench. We've got another question here from Archie Willett. He says, love it yesterday, Jack. What's your favourite Don song? Favorite Don song?
I think it's got to be Super Jack. love hearing that one, to be fair, when I'm playing. Yeah, I think that would be my favourite.
Mine's the 2 times out a non-league song, personally, but I can understand why you've gone for your own totally.
Yeah.
I'm loving Nick Zanis, by the way. It's just brilliant. Obviously, Nick, I don't think Nick joins in too many times, Jack, does he? On that, but have you heard it?
I don't know which one that one is. You can give us a...
Oh, no, you do not want to hear my singing. Was it like...
Yeah, go on, Stu.
Nick Zanis.
It's the French.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think at one point, though, Jack... Nick was saying to me at one point he has to sort of like lead them or something like that, but he obviously doesn't want to turn around and a little unprofessional on that side.
There was one game, I can't remember which it was. There was one game where Nick joined in, singing.
Just quickly, Rob, before you go to the next question. It's noticeable, Jack, that a lot of players now are getting songs. Is that something that gets discussed in the change room about who has the better song? In terms of that, but a lot of songs, the fans at Wickham yesterday, Accrington on a really horrible wet night, sing all the time now, aren't they? With players, songs and stuff like that.
Yeah, it has come up before. it's not like a regular thing we talk about. We really appreciate all the songs and love it. Like we find them brilliant and some of them funny. So we do discuss it sometimes, and I think we have discussed who has the best one a while ago. I remember a few people saying they liked Paul Callum-Bai's one.
The best one.
Oh, that was brilliant.
Yeah. So yeah, it has come up before.
Yeah, Paul Callum-Bai's is. I did that. I don't know if you remember, Rob. I did that with. I think he was on with Luke McCormick. And I set Paul Callum-Bai up. I was talking about songs and said to Jack, "Have you got any songs?" And Jack was like, "No." And I said, "Oh, Paul Cannon." I think Paul then realised where I was coming from, and said, "Yeah, Paul's got a Backstreet Boys one, which obviously the size of Paul Callum-Bai. It's hilarious with it." But yeah, Rob, I'll let you go.
Perfect. And one last question we have from Richard Chin. It's a shame that Nesta hasn't been able to join us for this, but he asks, Rudy, in the view of what you said about Wycombe's direct style, how worried were you when our left back had to play centre back? Or what we wanted to ask Nesta is basically, has he played centre back before, and how he found dealing with Akinfenwa, for example? You know, it's not often you come against, you know, that kind of physical type of player.
Yeah, no, me and Nesta are very close, so we speak about like all this stuff, and he said he's played left side of a 3 at centre back, but never like properly centre back, and he wasn't worried. I wasn't worried. He took it as a challenge, and he done fantastic. He was excellent yesterday, and I wasn't worried for 1 second. Like, I know how good Nesta is, and he's a quality player, and he would have no problem. I knew he'd have no problem with playing centre back. So yeah, he was excellent yesterday.
I agree.
I agree. I thought it was excellent yesterday on that. Cool. Right. Jack, if you're okay, just about 5 minutes just before you go, we're gonna bring back a game that we've been playing. We've done through the years. It's called Turbo Tango. Rob and I. So, and obviously Nesta's unfortunately not been able to join us, so Nesta has got a way of playing this. But Anne-Marie is gonna. Well, basically, it's going to be Jack Rudoni against Anne-Marie. So no pressure.
I'm not very good at centre backs, Stu. So I'm a pretty poor version of Nesta, but I'll give it a go.
Well, to be fair, I'm going to be the referee, which is a bit of a different situation for you, Anne-Marie. I was just thinking that. Do you know what I mean? So I won't be harsh. But basically, the Turbo Tango is there's some music and there's a gap in the music which gets faster and faster. We're going to give you a subject of. So Rob and I are going to quickly practice it. You can't repeat anything that's been said. So if Jack says something, Anne-Marie, you can't repeat it. And you also got to make sure you don't get beaten by the music. So Rob and I are going to do this, Rob, so you don't beat me. We'll show you a very easy one. So Rob and I are going to do colours. So we've got to name colours, Rob, all right? We're just going to do it very quickly, all right?
Yep.
So do 3 or 4 rounds. You go first.
Purple.
Green.
Blue.
Yellow.
Red.
Black. Anyway, that's enough of that. So basically, Jack, Anne-Marie, you basically like a little click, that's when you need to go when the music stops, and then it gets quicker. You won't get to the end of it. But we're all going to referee, actually. I'm going to keep this. Yeah, we're all going to referee. So just to make sure we can keep, obviously, an official score. So best of three on this one. Let me just get the first one. So Anne-Marie, as you're, obviously, ladies first. This is the first one. So name a player in this season's first team squad. Remember, you can't repeat anyone's answer, and the referee's decision, Anne-Marie, is final.
They're not always right, though, Stu.
Well, yeah, I've probably got VAR as well, but yeah. Anyway, Anne-Marie, you're first.
Ben Hennigan.
Jack Rudoni.
Nesta Guinness-Walker.
Woody.
Oh,
Nick Sano.
1-0. Jack was beaten by the music.
What?
Oh.
I said it on time.
No, you're
My thing must have lagged.
1
No,
nil.
I can't be losing that.
Savage.
Oh, I'm quite enjoying this game already. Okay, so Jack, obviously he lost the first round. Jack can go first this time. So name a team in this season's League One. Jack, no pressure, but if you lose this one, then that is game over. Here we go.
AFC Wimbledon.
Sunderland.
Accrington.
Wycombe Wanderers.
Ipswich.
Plymouth Argyle.
Doncaster.
Lincoln.
Milton Keynes.
I can't. You throw me by saying Milton Keynes.
Oh, that was a
brings
classic.
That just brings out rage.
Oh,
It's
Jack,
quite hard actually when it puts you on the spot.
I know. Do you know what? That was a great move, by the way.
Oh, that just threw me. Too much emotion.
We played this years ago with, it was actually after the last game of the season at Kings Meadow with Jake Reeves and Lyle Taylor. And Jake Reeves actually said he was going to say Milton Keynes, and Lyle went, "You won't." So, of course, Jake Reeves did. he was giving him the right evils. 1-1. So, tiebreaker. Okay, so the last one. And Anne-Marie, you can go first as you lost. So, name a team from the third round of the FA Cup this season. Here we go. Final round.
AFC Wimbledon.
Chelsea.
Yeovil.
Liverpool.
Manchester City.
Swindon.
Manchester United.
Everton.
Chelsea.
Tottenham.
Harrogate.
Morecambe.
Ipswich.
Crystal Palace.
Huddersfield.
Hull City.
Sunderland.
Luton.
Plymouth.
Fulham. Yes.
You said the music, the tempo gets you.
Can I be truthful? I've actually forgot to get the actual list up, so I was just hoping that you would get one that was wrong. But, so Jack is our winner on that. Jack, thank you very much for joining us on that. That was I know.
No worries. It's been good.
On that, what we do, we're obviously now Jack is the holder of that, so we'll probably try that with other players and that. But Anne-Marie, unlucky.
Well, I think that should count as one of Jack's goals towards the 10, to be fair. So
Yeah.
But brilliant, Jack. Thank you very much for joining us on a Sunday evening. Obviously, 10 goals. I think that'd be done before Christmas on that. But good luck for the Christmas period, and we'll catch up with Nesta Guinness-Walker.
No worries.
But thank you very much.
Thank you guys. Enjoyed it.
thank you.
You take care.
Speak to you guys
Thanks,
soon.
Jack.
Cheers, Jack.
See
you later.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Can I just say, right? Jack said Chelsea, and then Anne-Marie said Chelsea.
Stuart's
And
inquiry.
Straight away, did I?
Absolutely, Stuart's inquiry on
So
that.
the right person won, because everyone's commenting on YouTube saying
Yep.
we need VAR. Jack already said Chelsea.
Ah.
So
Bit like
Yeah.
the FIA making up their own rules.
Yeah, screw the referee.
It
Was
is
fast
hard.
asleep there.
It's a hard game under pressure.
It's the music, isn't it?
Yeah, it gets you.
And Stuart didn't
Like I
have
say-
a list, clearly.
Like I say, I realised early on I didn't have the list of FA Cup teams, so
Said
I was
anyway.
like, my logic is that realistically, you'd pick the Premier League teams. So I was sort of hoping that nobody would go up against so Harrogate. I was like, yes, I remember those. I'll get a score now. Anne-Marie, I don't remind you, of course, that you lost. But yeah, no, Joel, we used to do that quite a lot, and the players are really competitive on that. So we'll get that running. We'll maybe get some with like Bezo and stuff like that. But yeah, Jack done well there. Nesta, unfortunately, Yeah, I wasn't able to get there, but we'll get him on at another time. Jane, like I say, thank you very much for joining us. This is your last week on the Don's Trust board.
It is, yeah. 4 days, I think, now left.
Yep.
Not that you're counting or anything.
No, I've not been counting for weeks.
And how long you've done a long? How long have you been on the Don's Trust board now? It just feels like you're part of the furniture in a nice way, Jane.
Time to go then, yeah. 8 years. 8 years. 2013.
Crikey. And obviously, from my point of view, I just want to say thank you. I have to say you've done such an amazing job on what you've done. I sort of know also when you do something, you do it to the best of your ability, with a determination. Looking back at it, what's been your favourite moments on Don Trust Board in terms of things that you've wanted to achieve? Have you got any sort of memories or sort of things that stand out?
There's loads of stuff, and just you just said try and do it to your best of your ability. That that's something, but it's always about doing what I think is right for the fans and what is. So I mean, there's several things. I guess the things that I really remember well are the planning committee meeting in Merton Council, 10th of December 2015, was it? When we really didn't know how that was going to go. We, rehearsed it and planned it, and you can do so much work before, but it's out of your hands, right? It was one of those meetings that was live and recorded, so it was streamed out to people. There were people downstairs in the thing. I was very lucky enough to be in the chamber, and I was sat next to Zoe Linkson, who was on the board at the time. I could drop Zoe in it now, I suppose. We'd found a list of all of the people and where they were sitting. There was like a seating plan where you had to sit, and we lifted one off the table on the way in, and we're trying to work out. We were marking off whether the comments that the councillors were making were pro or against. We never imagined that it would be a unanimous decision. But the moment that really sticks with me, and actually I put something onto my Facebook page the other day, and Paul Raymond commented on it. It really made me laugh out loud, because there was a moment when they were talking about the bins being collected from the flats. And Zoe and I looked at each other and went, they're talking about the bins. This means that they think it's going to happen. They're now like in so much of the minutiae detail. They've given up with the whole, is it going to happen or not? And and that was the point where I thought, we've got this. I didn't ever imagine it would be unanimous. I thought we were trying to, score the councillors on whether we thought they would be pro. We thought it was going to be 8-2 or something. It was like, completely unanimous. That was a great night. How much of I can remember it after the decision. And then just lots of other occasions. Wembley, I got offered to go into the hospitality. You all know me well enough. Hospitality is really not my thing. I'd much rather be with the fans and what have you. And we were offered hospitality at Wembley, and I wanted to be with the fans, with my children. My husband and my dad came, and it's just days like that I just think we can get caught up a lot in the minutiae of the detail, and things don't always go right. Completely get that, and we've made some bad decisions over the years and some good decisions, but when you look at the whole picture, where we are as a club now, playing in League One in a £32 million stadium, that's not perfect, I know that, but we've got 4,500 Don's Trust members, fan-owned clubs, sustainable, just by the horns have just come into the pub, all those kind of things. Sometimes I just want to take a step back and go, do you know, it's great. The other thing that I'm really pleased with, or proud of, I suppose, and it's it doesn't happen anymore, but was the board member who put the first engagement tool for fans, WebJam. It was rubbish, right? But it was the first one back in, I don't know, 2014, 2015. Did we bring that in? And that's the first time we kind of opened up as a board to say we are willing to take questions from you direct, and we put our emails on the website and all of that kind of thing. So just a bit more transparency and accountability.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned the Merton Council meeting back in that December, because the podcast had just started then, and we were trying to build up our Twitter followers and stuff like that, and Paul Raymond was doing live updates for us from there. And I remember we had so many new followers, and my phone was like a Christmas tree, was like not stopping, and it was just, I think it was just an amazing night. And it's actually when you say that now, and you say, we've got a £32 million stadium, if you think back to that night, you wouldn't. So I think you're right. I think, Rob, I'm just thinking from your point, it's mad when you think about what that started off now. And sometimes maybe do we forget actually what we have?
I think we do personally. I mean, you know me well by now. Sometimes I like to have a moan in the WhatsApp group about things ain't perfect and whatnot. But when you do take a step back and you realise where we are now compared to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, you'd take this all day long. And as Jane said, like things ain't perfect, but we're definitely heading in the right direction on and off the pitch.
Definitely. And Anne-Marie, you've been involved obviously with Dons for Diversity. I know a lot of work with that as well. So you've been involved with working with Jane as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm a self-confessed Jane super fan. So I think she's Mrs. Everest Wimbledon, and honestly, I don't think it just shows Jane's exceptionally modest. Like how much she's done for this club is unbelievable. I think so many people won't realise that. But I know that's not why you do it. And exactly like Stu said, when you go into a project, you give everything. And Jane and I spoke possibly 2 or 3 years ago about setting up something for the LGBTQ plus kind of community within our fan base. And I was terrified. Starting it. And Jane was just absolutely just trust the process, like Robbo. And help me.
I didn't say that out loud, surely.
I'm sure you said. I'm
Trust
sure
the
that's where Robbo
process.
got it from. I think he learned it from you. But no, it's and you really, really helped so much, and just kind of giving me that belief that it's something important to do, why we're doing it, and kind of gave me the tools and signposted me, and we've sat on meetings together, and she's just been fantastic. And obviously we're right at the start of what we're trying to do, it's been brilliant. I can't thank her enough, but I'm sure she will have a well-earned Christmas.
Which reminds me, nobody has claimed the raffle ticket winning prize. So we did that. We had the Puma shirt. I haven't got it here. I should have brought it up and shown it. The Puma signed shirt, the rainbow shirt. Winning ticket was yellow 125. Now there were 2 books of yellow tickets. We know which one it wasn't. So if you're still carrying yellow 125, get in touch with me. I've got the shirt here.
And just to say, if anyone's been near Jane on match days, I've had a session normally on Kings Meadow. When we say Jane doesn't do things by half, even supporting Wimbledon, Jane.
Oh yeah.
I don't hear you that much now, Dodo. Nowadays, the West End must
waiting to come off the board, Stu. Waiting to come off the board.
So if you do get started near Jane, she is as passionate as when she does her Don's Trust board stuff on that side of it. But yeah, Jane, thank you very, very much. Obviously, on behalf of a lot of fans, the work you've done. And knowing you won't be far away from things.
I've said to the board that I'm taking 3 months completely, because I think if you say that you're going to do stuff, or you try and carry on doing stuff, you never really get that. And that we've just had the elections. There's a great board in place. There's great people coming onto the board. We were very lucky this year. We had 12 candidates. That's brilliant. I mean, we've had a couple of years where we've not had elections. Yeah. That's the worst thing that can happen for us as a trust, because you've got to have contested elections to make it a democracy and to make it so that the majority of people get their say. So you've had 5 people elected to the board this year. That's great. And it's just about I'm stepping away to allow people to take on the things that I've been doing. So I'm not. The plan is do nothing for 3 months, and then I can pick and choose which are the things that motivate me.
Super.
And help as a volunteer, not leading it.
And just so we wrap up, we've got about another couple of minutes. We go into the Christmas period now, don't we? We've got a hell of a lot of fixtures. Rob, Pompey on Saturday, then Charlton, then Oxford. It just goes on, doesn't it? I don't know about you, Rob, but give me a couple of weeks ago, I was dreading this Christmas period, but I'm actually now thinking, well, I think we should be getting quite a lot of points. No pressure on Rob or anyone like that. But Rob, what are you thinking over the Christmas period?
Yeah, you know what? When I looked at the fixture on, Accrington away, Wickham away, Portsmouth at home, Charlton at home, Oxford away, Plymouth away, it is relentless. And when you look at the teams in the league, it is a tough league. But I feel like we have turned a corner recently, and we are looking up at the moment. And we play Portsmouth next, but I feel like we should have got a point away to them a few weeks ago. I don't feel like we should be fearing them. And then obviously Boxing Day with Charlton. I'm really much looking forward to. I love Boxing Day football personally. It's the one calendar day of the year that I really look forward to. So good to have a London derby on Boxing Day to look forward to just after Christmas.
Yeah, and Jay, I was going to say, we're quite lucky. We've got Pompey on Saturday, then Boxing Day. Boxing Day at Plough Lane. I can't wait. It's going to be nice, isn't it?
We seem to have had, and I'm going to get this wrong because I always get stats wrong, but it feels like we've been away a lot on a Boxing Day, and the travel is always a bit of, and I know travel is a bit of a nitmare because, trains don't run and all the rest of it. But the idea of having a home game on a Boxing Day is great. So I love it. I think, it'd be great. It'll be a great day. I think it'd be lovely.
And do you know what? I just think, Rob, with Charlton coming to Plough Lane, it'll be the first time we see Dobson, but he won't be in a Wimbledon shirt. And it's weird when it's weird when you think about players you never saw play in a Wimbledon. I saw Ryan Longman, I think, scoring or setting up for Hull, and we never saw him.
It's a weird old season last year.
And let's hope we don't get Amory. Let's hope we don't get any lockdowns or anything like that.
Well, that is crazy thinking about it. Yeah, there must be a handful of players who wouldn't have ever played in front of us.
That'll be a quiz question in a few years, won't it?
I should have done that until tango.
That would have been. I'm so glad you didn't. That would have been horrendous.
Who was it? Do you know what? I forget. If you think about last season, we had 2 goalkeepers before Nick Zanev come in.
Sam Walker was one of them, wasn't it? Who's the other one?
We had a Birmingham loan goalkeeper, didn't we?
Oh yeah, he's at Oxford now, isn't he?
And is it Walker we had?
Yeah, Sam Walker and Truman, isn't it?
Connell Truman.
Connell Truman, that was it, yeah.
Yeah, he's at Oxford now.
That's going to be a trick question for people, players that we never saw play in a Wimbledon shirt. But Amory, Boxing Day, Plough Lane.
Yeah, I'll be there. This is bad. I've chosen to work Christmas Day so that I can get Boxing Day off. So I can come to the football. So
that's not
priorities.
Sad.
Priorities.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
Not sad at all. Brilliant. Well, look, thank you all for joining us, Jane. Thank you for joining us.
Stu, can I just say something about Boreham Wood tickets? Just because it would be remiss of me to come on and not mention Boreham Wood tickets. So, we are looking at it again. We're working with the club on it. There's been a whole load of backwards and forwards emails, and along with trying to work out the complexities of our system and Boreham Wood system. But we are looking at it again. We realise that things don't always go quite as we would hope, but we never ever, just to be really clear, we never make a decision without really thinking about it and the complexities of it and who we might offend or not in these decisions. And so we are looking at the 1 ticket versus 2 ticket thing. The 2 ticket thing was done from a place of good thought. We thought, conscious that we've got children who are season ticket holders and we've got elderly people who are season tickets that can't go to games without somebody with them. That was the premise of the 2 ticket thing. But we've obviously heard that lots of people are upset about it, and so we are working with the club about how we can try and make that work, and we will put something out in the next couple of days if we are able to change it in some way. We're working with Boreham Wood. We've already been in contact with them. They've already started selling their pre-sale. But it's done from these decisions are not ever taken lightly. And so just to say that we are looking at it. And it is something that the club and the trust, looked at together. It wasn't there's no kind of, it was them, it was us. It's not how it works. And then just to finally say, the AGM on Thursday is now fully remote. For anybody who hasn't yet picked that up from the socials or whatever, we're going to start phoning people who get their stuff by paper. But it is now completely fully remote, which is such a shame because it's my last meeting. It would have been lovely to have it at Plough Lane and all the rest of it. But it is what it is, and we've just got to do it. So if you are a Don's Trust member, then join via link that's available on the website.
Brilliant. Yeah, COVID has just shown its face again, isn't it, on that side of it. But yeah, just like we said before, it's so difficult now. You're going to upset somebody, but I think I can talk on behalf of a lot. I know that any decision that's made is made in the best spirit and trying to accommodate everyone. You can't, unfortunately, on that side. Cool. Well, thank you for joining us. 12 sleeps till Christmas. I need to get my Christmas jumper. Robin was thinking Matt Harwood did say his Christmas jumper on Saturday. If I buy one and none of you lot are wearing it, I'm gonna literally like it'd be like that fancy dress thing, wouldn't it, when you turn up and no one else is in that stage of it. But thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Jack Rudoni, and yeah, we will see you